Hey guys, today I'm going to build my version of the 360-degree rig using Doc's components. It's also known as a spinner rig or the Ronnie rig. It's also available as a pre-tied version from Doc's if you don't want to build it yourself. Here's the components that we need to build the rig. On your right over here, we'll start with a coated braid hook link. And I'm really excited about this BK Cave size 2 curve shank hook that I've been using in my fishing recently. It's worked really well for me. Then we need a anti-tangle sleeve, a micro rig ring, a Ronnie rig swivel, a cut-off piece of anti-tangle sleeving that I'm using instead of a kicker, and I'll show you why. And we need a pair of scissors and a baiting needle. I'm going to start by cutting off the correct length of hook link. I'm going to cut a piece of hook link material using the rig case ruler to measure it out. I'll cut it around about 25 centimeters long. Now that the braided hook link is cut to the right length, I'm going to tie it onto the Ronnie swivel with a uni knot. Thread the hook link through the large swivel, pull it back, form a loop like that. I pass the line through about 3 times. You can pull it down, slide it down like that. You don't even have to wet it because it's not mono, it's a braided hook link. You can tighten it down. Hold the braid tight and cut off the tag end, leaving 1 or 2 millimeters over. And that is the first part done. So the next part is we're going to tie a very simple overhand knot in this part of the braid, the end part of the braid. Simply form a loop, form another loop like that, and a little trick I've learned over the years: you take your baiting needle, push it first through the first loop, grab the second loop and pull it back through, and that's it. Your boom section is done. The next step is to thread the anti-tangle sleeve onto the hook link material. I'll show you how to do that. I use a closed lip baiting needle. Simply slide the anti-tangle sleeve onto the closed lip baiting needle. Slide your loop over the needle and slide the anti-tangle sleeve onto the hook link. Very simple. Next step, I'm going to thread this piece of silicone tubing that I cut off the anti-tangle sleeve onto the hook. Very simple. I just like to lubricate the eye of the hook a little bit, and a slight twist of the fingers like that is careful the hook point, slide it onto the hook like that. That's the next step done. The next step is to slide the micro rig swivel onto the hook. Simply slide it onto the end of the hook. Once again, careful the point, and that's the next step done. We're going to slide on the hook bead onto the hook to stop the micro rig swivel sliding off the hook. Slide it over the point, and I like to set it opposite the barb of the hook. You can see the micro rig swivel is opposite the barb of the hook like that. The final step is to fit the Ronnie swivel through the eye of the hook and slide the silicone over the Ronnie swivel. Now that silicone is actually taking the same shape as the bend of this curve shank hook from BKK. So I don't use a kicker because it is actually making the curve longer over there. Now we're ready to attach our bait. In this case, I've got a 15mm pop-up which I'm going to attach to the swivel over here, the micro rig swivel, with a piece of dental floss. All that you do is you thread the dental floss through the eye of the swivel. Simply pick it up, get it the same length. Then we're going to thread the pop-up onto the closed lip baiting needle, exactly the same tool we used to make the rig. Slide it onto the top of the dental floss. As I slide it into the bottom of the barrel is flush with the bait, like that. And then I simply tie 3 overhand knots in the floss and then trim off the tag ends. The last thing we need to do is add a piece of Doc's tungsten putty onto the hook link just underneath the hook. This will prevent the pop-up lifting the hook link off the lake bed. In fact, I add two pieces, one just in front of the anti-tangle sleeve and one just behind the hook. I've seen on underwater cameras how it actually allows the bait or the hook link to sit flat on the bottom and lie nice and straight. Before I start fishing with the rig, I always test it in the margins to check that the buoyancy is correct. So what it would look like is the pop-up will lift the hook up like this, and the actual weight of the tungsten putty keeps the hook link nice and flat on the bottom.